My name is Isla Mercer. I'm 26, and my life smells like night-blooming jasmine and hot sugar. Charleston wraps around you like a shawl in July, heavy, humid, embroidered with history. My studio, Low Tide Candle Co., is wedged between a used bookshop and a bakery off King Street, where the brick sweats and the sidewalk glitters with powdered sugar that never quite brushes away. Every morning I roll up the garage bay door, prop it with a driftwood stick, and let the city breeze in. I heat soy wax in wide steel pots, fold in oils, amber, sea salt, bergamot, then pour the glossy cream into glass tumblers that catch the light like little windows. It's a life I built from farmers markets and pop-ups and late-night Etsy pings. It's small, it's mine. On the wall is a framed invoice for my first wholesale order. 24 Gullah Sunrise, net 30. I still remember counting bills at my kitchen table, breathing in the wax to steady my hands. That morning, Charleston hums. A church bell, a trolley grinding, gulls scissoring the sky. I'm labeling wicks when my phone starts vibrating across the workbench like it wants to jump. Ping, ping, ping. I wipe my hands on my apron and check. At first, my brain won't stitch the words together. Is this true? Girl, your candles made my cousin's baby sick. Why would you use petroleum wax? A tag notification pops up. Then another. Then 10. Someone's posted a video. I tap it, and there I am on screen, or a version of me, my label, my font, my handwriting looping the fragrance notes in Sharpie. A woman holds my salt plus citron up to the camera and peels the lid with theatrical dread. This is what they're putting in clean candles, she says, drawing out the word clean like it just bit her. She dips a metal spoon into the melted pool and scoops up a clear, oily clump. Paraffin. Toxic paraffin. You can smell the gasoline. My apartment reeks, and now I have a headache. There's a text overlay. Mercer equals toxic. The caption is a grenade. 10 seconds later, a second video. A third. A stitched montage with a soundbite of a coughing child. A screenshot of a DM. A chart pulled off Google that's all red triangles and skulls. My mouth goes dry. I use 100% soy. I say it out loud to the empty room. I use 100% soy. My chest tightens like a vice. I can feel my heartbeat in my gums. It's absurd, almost comic like a kid's cartoon of panic, until it isn't. Until my hands start to tremble. I open my inventory spreadsheet. Every batch number. Every supplier lot. The emails with my vendor about the latest pallet, stamped with organic certifications, biodegradable packing peanuts stuck to every box like snow. I press my fingers to my eyes until stars bloom. The bell attached to the door rattles. We're closed, I call, voice strangled. It's me, says Lena, my best friend and unofficial quality control. She hustles in carrying 2 cold brews and a cinnamon roll, big as a steering wheel. Her hair is up. Her face is already set in that nurse-soft concern. What happened? She asks, scanning the room, then my face. I show her. The videos, the comments piling up like driftwood after a storm. She takes it in quietly, then puts a hand on my arm. Okay. Breathe. You know this isn't true. I know it, I say. But the internet doesn't. My notifications ping like a Geiger counter. That handle, Lena says, narrowing her eyes. At Low Country Glow? Isn't that Savannah's brand? I finish. The word tastes like a splinter. Savannah Rhodes. Copper hair, curated freckles, perfect messy bun. We met at a market on Shem Creek when we were both selling candles out of crates. She complimented my labels. I told her where I bought my jars. She laughed at my joke about wick mushrooms and how they look like tiny hats. We shared a tent twice when the forecast called for rain. She knew my formulas, my suppliers, my pressure points. We split a funnel cake one afternoon, sugar crystals on our lips, and she told me she'd always wanted a little sister. 2 months later, she opened a storefront 3 blocks away and took my wax guy with a big order. I told myself, that's business. I smiled through it. I sent her a plant. Now, her brand's fans are posting exposés with my labels front and center. Call a lawyer, Lena says. And say what? Hi, my former friend, detonated my reputation over brunch? Say you're being defamed, she says. Because you are. I keep scrolling. The algorithm is feasting. A micro-influencer does a flat lay of my candle next to a baby monitor and an inhaler. A wellness coach points at bullet points about benzene, like she can banish me with Canva. My Etsy dashboard opens like a wound. Orders paused. Messages stacked. 1. From a bride whose wedding favors are due in 2 days. We can't risk it. Refund? My rent, my supplies, my payroll. I pay 2 part-timers on Fridays. Their faces flash across my brain like postcards. My phone rings. Unknown number. I let it go to voicemail, then watch the transcript crawl. Hi Isla, this is Jada from Channel 9. We're doing a segment on toxic candles and would love to include your perspective. The room tilts. I have to test, I blurt. If I test the wax and prove it's clean like third-party lab testing, then it's not just me saying it, it's science. Lena nods. Good. Do it now. I'm already typing independent lab Charleston VOC testing with fingers that can't find the keys. 3 tabs. 5. A lab in North Charleston does rush testing on consumer goods. I dial, my voice somehow calm, while my pulse sprints. Yes, I say. I need a volatile organic compound panel and a paraffin content analysis. The woman on the phone is brisk, professional. We can do that. Bring sealed samples from different batches, labels intact. I hang up and collect candles like a thief, sliding them into a tote, scribbling batch numbers on painter's tape. I tape my apron around my own panic like a tourniquet. As I'm leaving, a couple peers through the open bay door. The woman's voice is sharp. Are you the toxic candle place? My scalp prickles. We're closed, I say, almost pleading. They walk away, shaking their heads. The word toxic hangs in the air like a smell. I lock up. The sun is ferocious. The asphalt is a skillet. Lena drives. We barely speak. At a red light, a notification blooms across my screen. Savannah has posted a story. I tap it. She's in her studio, all shiplap and eucalyptus. Hey Glow family, she says, voice gentle with concern. I take your health so seriously. That's why Low Country Glow uses only coconut wax and clean scents. I'd never hazard your home with, like, cheap oils or paraffin. Ever. She never says my name. She doesn't have to. Rage hits so hot I could melt wax with it. Turn it off, Lena says. At the lab, fluorescent lights make everything feel surgical. I hand over my samples, sign forms, swipe my card. The tech, a man with a kind face and nitrile gloves, seals the bags like he's packing evidence. How long? I ask. 2 business days for standard. Rush by tomorrow, he says. We'll email results. I exhale so hard I feel lightheaded. Tomorrow is an eternity. Back at the studio, I sit on the floor with my back to the work table and let the fan clip my hair. Sweat blades down my spine. My phone dings and dings. I don't look. Memories keep slipping in my mother showing me how to trim a wick, my grandfather carving boats from cedar, the first time I swirled fragrance into hot wax and thought, this is alchemy, this is mine. I open my notes app and write, go live, show process, transparency, post receipts from supplier, draft statement, we test, we care. Lawyer? Stop crying. A DM slams into my inbox like a thrown stone. It's from an account with no posts, no followers, a default avatar. I almost ignore it. Then I read, check your labels at Baybrook Market. My skin tightens. Baybrook is where Savannah and I both started. It's a community market in an old cannery, cement floors, twinkle lights, artisanal pickles, the whole charmed mess. I still stalk there every Thursday. Could be a troll, Lena says. I know. But I need to see. We drive. The sky is the color of a bruise over the marsh, all purple, gold, and heat. Inside Baybrook, a fiddle is playing through speakers, and a toddler is trying to feed a dog a cracker. It should calm me. It doesn't. I head for shelf 3 like I'm sneaking into a crime scene. Back corner, past the hot sauce guy, with labels that look like tattoo flash. My display looks normal at first. Crisp rose, the beach glass tumblers catching fairy light. Salt plus citron. Church Street magnolia. Stormwatch. Then I see it. One jar is slightly off center. The label is peeled up at one corner and pressed back. The wax looks cloudier than mine ever does. I pick it up. It's heavier, just a beat. I twist the lid and lift it to my nose. The smell hits me wrong. It's sweet and chemical, like a new shower curtain and an old lighter. Lena watches my face. What? I dig a nail into the surface. It resists, then gives with a tacky snap. I know too well from the one wax I won't touch. Paraffin. My stomach flips. I turn the jar and press the corner of the label. It lifts. Underneath, taped neatly around the glass, is a second label with my logo, printed a shade too saturated. The font, half a hair thinner. The kind of fake you don't see, unless you know what your own handwriting looks like in your bones. Someone swapped my candles. My heart is a drumline. Who would? Lena starts. We don't say her name. We don't have to. I look up and catch a reflection in the glass of the refrigerated case across the aisle. Copper hair, a perfect, messy bun. A phone raised, the little red light of an active recording. Savannah is watching me. Her gaze meets mine over the top of her phone like a dare. Everything inside me goes very still, the way the ocean does right before it yanks. I slide the fake candle back, align it perfectly, feel my hands steady as they go, then I smile. It's a small thing, mostly teeth. If this is how she wants to play, I'll give her a show. I turn to Lena. Tomorrow, I say softly, I'm going to live stream every step from wick to pour. I'm going to lab test on camera, and then I'm going to find out who switched these and make them choke on the truth. Lena squeezes my hand until it hurts. I've got you. Across the aisle, Savannah's eyes flick to my phone like she can read my plan, then back to my face. The market music switches to something bright and stupidly happy. My phone buzzes in my pocket. Another DM from the empty account. Want proof? It says. Meet me on the pier at 10. I read it twice. On the far side of the market, Savannah lowers her phone and slips into the crowd like a needle into fabric. I swallow hard. Do I take the bait? The pier at 10 at night. Charleston, dark and salty and full of eyes. I look at Lena. Her eyebrows ask the question for her. I look down at the fake candle in my hands, then at the shelves full of my real ones, each a small promise with my name on it. Let's find out, I say. By 9:30 the city is a postcard from a fever dream, cobblestones sweating, cicadas high and mean, the harbor wind licking salt across my teeth. Lena insists on driving me to the pier and staying in the car, like a getaway driver, but with better insurance. I don't argue. My stomach is a tough knot. I'll be right there, she says, tapping the steering wheel. Text me a code word if this goes sideways. Pineapple. No. Fermented pineapple. The safe word is kombucha. I manage a laugh. If I text kombucha, call 911. She nods, steady. And film if you can. The pier is a long silver finger pointing into black water. Couples lean on the railing, murmuring. A fisherman in a Braves cap is half asleep on a bench, line bobbing. I walk to the end, where the wooden planks creak underfoot, and the lamps draw halos in the humid dark. Isla? A voice says behind me. I turn. A shadow peels away from the piling. He's mid-30s, thin, sallow, in the sodium light, with eyes that keep darting like minnows. A baseball cap pulled low. A canvas messenger bag cinched across his chest. And you are? I ask, keeping my tone flat. Call me Jamie, he says, swallowing. I used to do fulfillment for Low Country Glow. The name lands between us like a stone dropped in tide. I taste metal. You worked for Savannah. He nods once. I stalked Baybrook for her every Thursday. Until last week. Why did you DM me? He slips a glance past me, toward the lot. Because you're the only one who looked at the shelf and actually saw what was wrong, And because she didn't pay me my last 2 checks. Proof? I say, jaw tight. He unzips the bag, pulls out a phone, and a fat manila folder bound with a blue rubber band. Security cam stills from Baybrook, he says, tapping the folder. Order forms from a wholesaler in North Carolina that sells paraffin by the ton, shipping labels, and a video. He thumbs his phone, then turns the screen toward me. It shows the back corner of Baybrook in grainy black and white. Timestamp. Yesterday, 5:22 p.m. My shelf. The crowd thin. Jamie steps into frame, baseball cap, bag. He checks his phone, looks around, and my throat goes cold, lifts 3 jars from a tote, peels my labels from the real candles, then carefully smooths new ones over the fakes. He's fast, practiced. In less than a minute, he's gone. I look up, ice spreading through me. You switched them. He puts both hands up, like I've pulled a gun. Under orders, he says, voice quick. She said you were a menace, that you were cutting corners and making people sick, and she had to protect the community. She said it was a temporary quality check. Protect the community by framing me? He winces. I know how it sounds. I didn't ask enough questions, but when I saw her post today, when it blew up, he shakes his head hard. It wasn't a quality check. It was a hit job. A wave slaps the pier. Somewhere a buoy clangs like a warning bell. And now? I ask. She fired me on Monday for attitude. Withheld pay for damages. I'm not a saint, okay? I did what I did. But I won't be her fall guy. He taps the folder. This shows she knew. The purchase orders are addressed to Rhodes Mercantile. D divided by B divided by a low country glow. Last month, 2 pallets of paraffin and a case of fragrance oils labeled industrial grade. Not IFRA compliant. My candle maker brain clicks like a lock. IFRA is the standard. Industrial grade is a no from every slow-burning corner of my soul. I reach for the folder, but he pulls it back a hair. There's more, he says. She's planning to make a video tomorrow. Expose new evidence. My heart thuds. He hesitates. A lab test. She's got a buddy at a strip mall wellness clinic who will run a tox screen on anything she hands him and put her logo on it. She has one of your candles. Or, what she says is one of your candles. My mind snaps to the fake I found at Baybrook. A swapped jar. He nods. She'll say it came from your studio. She'll cry on camera. She'll push hashtags. You won't keep up. Anger rises hot and clean, scalding the fear edges off my voice. Then I'll go live before she does. I'll pour on camera, batch numbers visible, lab courier on standby. I'll invite Channel 9 to watch me tape the seals. He chews his lip. Do it early. And, Isla, don't go alone. She keeps receipts. The scary kind. Screenshots. Things that can be taken out of context. You're very concerned for someone who poisoned my shelf, I say. He flinches. I know. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm asking to make it right. The folder weighs warm in my hands. The rubber band bites my fingers. Why me? I ask. Why not the cops? He laughs without humor. Because it's civil, not criminal. Because they'll tell you to call a lawyer, and in the time it takes to leave a voicemail, your business is gone. And because she knows people. Fundraisers. Dinners with councilmen. You need this first. The wind shifts. The scent of marsh rises, dark and vegetal, like a warning. Okay, I say. Tomorrow morning, I go live. Today, I file a police report about product tampering and ask Baybrook for their footage. Tonight, I make copies of everything in here and email them to myself, my mom, and a lawyer. He nods. Good. One more thing. He pulls a small plastic evidence bag from the messenger. Inside is a wick trimmer with my logo etched on the handle. I found it under her packing table, he says. Thought it was yours. Maybe it matters. I don't know if it does. I take it anyway. A gust makes the pier lights flicker. The fisherman coughs. Somewhere behind us, a car door slams. Both of us look. Go, Jamie says, voice suddenly sharp. That's her assistant's Civic. Every nerve sizzles. I shove the folder under my shirt, grab my phone, and walk fast. Not running, not a deer. In Lena's car, I exhale like I've been underwater too long. Kombucha? She says, eyes wide. Not yet, I say, holding up the folder. But pour me a metaphorical shot. We drive straight to a FedEx store off Meeting Street, the kind that glows too bright at night. I copy everything. Twice. I email myself, Lena, and an attorney I find with a midnight search. Charleston Defamation Small Business. The website shows a woman in a navy blazer with a smile that says she eats bullies for breakfast. Her name is Naomi Park. I write, urgent. Evidence attached. Help. On the way out, the clerk says, "Aren't you the candle girl?" I brace, but his face is kind. "My girlfriend loves your storm watch. Smells like summer rain. Don't let the haters get you." I almost cry on the counter. Instead, I say, "Tell your girlfriend I said thank you." Back at the studio, Lena and I stage it like a war room. Tripod, ring light. The big steel pots on the induction burners. A clean table like a surgical tray. Wicks, glue dots, thermometers, fragrance bottles, seals, Sharpies, blank labels, batch book open to a fresh page. I tape a printed sign to the wall. Batch. 73 live. 7. 0 amperes. I set the lab's rush order form on the table under a glass paperweight. I prep a cooler with ice packs for sealed samples. Sleep? Cute concept. At 2:13 a.m., my email pings. "It's Naomi. Miss Mercer got your note. I'm up early. Quick call at 6:30 a.m. Also, don't delete anything. Screenshot everything. Do not DM Miss Rhodes. I'll file a temporary restraining order request if needed. We can also send a litigation hold letter by noon. You're doing the right things." My shoulders unclench a fraction. A grown-up is on the way. At 5:37 a.m., a second email lands. Subject: urgent. Evidence attached. Help. From Baybrook Market is less than manager at Baybrook, is greater than. Isla, we've pulled last 48 hours of security footage on your aisle. Please come by after opening. We're with you. I brew coffee so strong it could strip paint. I put on a clean apron. I pull my hair back tight. I set my phone to do not disturb except for two people, Lena and Naomi Law. At 6:59 a.m., my thumb hovers over the live button. "Ready?" Lena whispers, squeezing my shoulders. I nod. "Let's show them." I tap. The red dot flares. Comments start flying like startled birds. "Is it true?" "Watching from Savannah." "Girl, I knew you were real." "Prove it." I smile at the camera, voice steady, hands not. "Good morning," I say. "I'm Isla Mercer, owner of Low Tide Candle Co. Today, you're going to watch me pour batch 73 from start to finish. You'll see the wax straight from the supplier. You'll see the labels, the wicks, the temperatures, the seals. When I'm done, a courier from an independent lab will pick up sealed samples for testing. You'll see that too." I lift the bag of wax pellets. The label is crisp, the certification stamps like little shields. "This is 100% soy," I say, holding it close enough to read. "No paraffin. No petroleum." Someone comments, "Can't trust labels." "Fair," I say. "So we're going further." I cut the bag open. The pellets rattle into the pot, white as snow. I show the thermometer, the scale reading to the gram. I narrate every step like a cooking show, with the stakes of a court date. 7 minutes in, the view count jumps. Channel 9 has joined. The account named @LowCountryGlow Official pops up with a single eyeball emoji. My hands don't shake. "Fragrance," I say, holding up an IFRA certificate. "This is a blend of lemon, sea salt, and oak moss. IFRA compliant. Measured at 8% of total weight." I stir slow figure eights. The wax turns clear, glossy. It smells like a clean kitchen and a thunderstorm rolling in. The comments tilt more curious than feral. I can almost smell it. Asmer. Science queen. Right then, the studio door rattles. I glance at Lena. She moves toward it like a linebacker, flips the deadbolt. Knuckles rap hard. A woman's voice, sugar over metal. Open up, Isla. It's Savannah. I think you have something of mine. The chat explodes. Oh my god, she's there? Open it. Lawyer time. I keep my face in frame, my voice gentle as a scalpel. We're closed to the public, I say to the door. We open at 10. Then let me in privately, she purrs. Or I'll tell your little audience what I found in your trash. I glance at Lena. She mouths, Don't. I turn back to the camera. We're going to take a brief pause from stirring, I say lightly, to acknowledge that there's someone at my door who would love a cameo. I tilt the phone just enough to show the door closed, locked, savior of my sanity, and then back to the pot. Transparency cuts both ways, I say. Which is why, a brittle crack interrupts me, the sound of glass underfoot. A thud at the back of the building. Someone just came in through the alley door. Lena's eyes go wide. She points toward the storage room. The camera is still rolling. 10,000 live viewers are watching my face drain. I set the spoon down. Lena, I say, voice thin and even. Call Naomi. And the police. Then I pick up the phone with the live still streaming, and I walk toward the sound. The storage room smells like cedar boxes and warm wax. My heart's beating so hard I can feel it in my fingertips. The live stream is still going, thousands of comments racing across the screen like static. Call 911. What's happening? Girl, don't go in there. I grip my phone tighter, the camera light turning the dim hall into a shaky tunnel of gold. Hello? My voice sounds wrong small, a half whisper that disappears into the smell of melted wax and dust. There's movement, a shadow sliding behind the shelves, stacked with mason jars and wicks. Then, a clatter. Something metallic rolls and stops by my foot. A wick trimmer. My wick trimmer. Who's there? I manage. A voice answers low, male, nervous. Don't freak out, it's me, Jamie. He steps into the light, hands raised, his cap's gone, his face slick with sweat. He's breathing like he sprinted the whole way here. What the hell are you doing in my shop? I hiss, aware the live stream is still rolling. Savannah sent me. The phone's mic catches my sharp inhale. She told me to swap more candles from your shelf before the cops could test them, he says quickly. But I couldn't. I couldn't do it again. I came to warn you. By breaking into my building? He glances toward the back door, the glass cracked where he must have forced it. I thought she'd be here first. She's coming, Isla. She knows you're live. She's losing it. Behind me, Lena's voice cuts through the air. The police are on their way. Jamie backs up, eyes darting toward the sound. Good. Because you're gonna need them. The doorbell chimes. Once. Then again. Then, a third time so hard it rattles. Lena peeks around the doorway, whispering. It's her. She's outside. She's got her phone out. The chat explodes. This is insane. Is that the other candle lady? Keep filming. I angle the phone toward the front, voice trembling but loud enough for the mic. Everyone watching, you're witnessing this in real time. I am not editing. I am not cutting the feed. Savannah's voice floats through the locked glass door, sugar and venom. You stole my suppliers, my formula, my customers. I'm just taking back what's mine. Your formula? I bark out a laugh that sounds more like a sob. You copied mine. I perfected it. She slams the door again. The glass quivers but holds. Then she pulls something from her tote jar. One of the fakes. The label with my name printed just a shade too dark. She holds it up for her camera. She's live streaming too. Oh great, Lena mutters. A double feature. Savannah's voice is muffled through the door, but clear enough for the mics. See this? This is what she sells you. Toxic sludge dressed up as soy wax. I've got the lab results. No, you don't, I shout. You forged them. Tell them about your fake certificates, Isla. Tell them about the hospital call from the woman whose baby. Stop lying! I'm trembling so hard the camera shakes. I have proof, Savannah. You switched my products. I have your ex-employee here. He's already confessed. Savannah freezes mid-sentence. You're bluffing. I tilt the phone. Jamie steps into frame, pale but determined. She's not. The chat detonates. Brew. This is wild. He worked for her. Savannah's expression cracks just for a second before she pulls it back into a smile. Cute, she says. He's a thief. You'll believe him over me? I raise the folder I copied last night, the evidence still inside plastic sleeves. Your invoices say otherwise. Her jaw twitches. You have no idea who you're messing with. And then, she does something no one expects. She hurls the jar. The glass shatters against the door frame, splattering wax across the floor. A faint chemical smell blooms in the air, sharp and wrong. Lena gasps. I take a step back. The live stream catches every second, the crash, the fumes, the silence that follows. Sirens wail faintly in the distance. Savannah's phone is still pointed at me, her smile trembling. You just attacked me, she says. You threw it. My mouth drops open. What are you talking about? She angles her camera to show the broken glass and wax, twisting the story live before my eyes. Everyone saw it, she says, voice syrupy sweet. She's losing it. She knows she's guilty. My pulse spikes. The comments split into chaos, half believing her, half defending me. Jamie steps forward, voice steady now. You're done, Savannah. It's over. Shut up, she snaps. Then blue lights flash through the front windows. The officers move fast, calm, trained, taking statements, separating us. One of them, a woman with a notebook and a Charleston PD patch, asks me to end my stream. Ma'am, she says, we need space to work. I nod, hands still trembling, and end it. 2 hours later, the shop is taped off. The shattered glass swept, the air thick with lemon cleaner and adrenaline. Savannah's in handcuffs outside, still yelling about defamation and slander as they put her in the back of the cruiser. Her live stream apparently ended when an officer confiscated her phone. Jamie's giving a statement. Lena sits next to me on the curb, handing me a bottle of water. You okay? She asks. I shake my head, laughing softly. No, but I think I'm going to be. My phone buzzes with a new email notification. It's from the lab. Subject: Rush test results. Batch 7273. My thumb hesitates, then taps. No paraffin or petroleum derivatives detected. VOCs within safe consumer range. 100% soy wax confirmed. I exhale for what feels like the first time in hours. Lena leans in. So it's clean. It's clean, I whisper. It's always been clean. By evening, the video from this morning has hit 500,000 views. My inbox is full of orders, support, apologies from influencers who jumped on the rumor train. Channel 9 calls again, this time asking for an interview. But the comments that matter most are quiet ones, from small makers, artisans, women who've been whispered about and dragged and doubted. Watching you stand up to that was everything. Thanks for showing the receipts. Some of us needed that courage. Naomi calls at sunset. Savannah will spend the night in holding, she says matter-of-factly. We'll file a restraining order and a civil suit for defamation and damages first thing tomorrow. You did exactly what you should have done, stay transparent and keep everything documented. Will it be enough? I ask. There's a pause. It'll be more than enough. Especially with the footage. Internet or not, truth still counts for something. After we hang up, I step outside. The air smells like rain, again heavy, electric, clean. My reflection glints faintly in the shop window. Tired eyes, wax-stained apron, hair frizzed from stress. But my hands are steady. Lena walks up beside me. So, what now? I smile. The first real one all day. Now I finish batch 73. Then we light one, she laughs. For luck? For proof, I say. I go back inside, pour the wax that started all of this into clean glass tumblers, and when the first candle cools enough to solidify, I light it. The flame flickers steady, golden, alive. It smells like salt and lemon and freedom. And for the first time in a long time, I breathe easy. Outside, thunder grumbles over the harbor. Inside, the camera on my counter blinks with a red light still recording, just in case. Because this story isn't over yet. Not until every lie burns out. Charleston wakes slow after a storm. The air smells like wet magnolia and relief. I don't sleep that night. I just watch the wax cool in its jars, neat, unbothered, pure like nothing ever happened. But the internet doesn't sleep either. By 7 a.m., the hashtag number Candlegate is trending. Half the world is dissecting yesterday's livestream like it's an episode of reality TV. Reaction videos, conspiracy threads, slow-motion breakdowns of Savannah throwing the jar everything. It should feel like vindication. Instead, it feels like standing under a spotlight that's too hot. Lena shows up at my door with coffee and that face, the one that means she's got news I'm not going to love. Savannah made bail, she says quietly. I stop mid-sip. Already? Naomi called. It's fine, the restraining order's in motion. But apparently Savannah's followers have started a Number Free Savannah campaign. Of course they have. I set the mug down and open my laptop. My DMs are chaos, half congratulations, half vitriol. You ruined her life. You deserve justice, girl. You both seem fake af. Team Truth. I scroll until my eyes blur. Lena nudges me. You need to eat. Or at least blink. I push the laptop away. I just wanted to make candles. Yeah, well, she says, cracking open a croissant bag. Welcome to modern business, where honesty requires a ring light. Despite myself, I laugh. At noon, Naomi meets us at the shop, navy suit. Calm energy, a folder thicker than a Bible. She sits across my workbench like a general at her war table. Here's where we are, she begins. Savannah's facing potential charges for product tampering, filing a false police report, and defamation. Civilly, we're suing for damages, both financial and emotional distress. But what you did on that live stream? That saved your business. I blink. You mean the chaos? I mean the documentation, Naomi says. Every second of it is evidence. It's proof of your transparency and her intent to harm. Lena grins. Told you to keep filming. Naomi flips open her folder. But we're not done. She'll come at you from another angle. She'll claim emotional distress, countersue, call herself a victim. That's her pattern. She's done this before? Naomi nods. Quietly. Different industries. She's good at making noise, then pivoting into sympathy. The thing is, you can't fight noise with noise. You fight it with facts. I look at the cooling rack of candles behind her, dozens of them, each identical, perfect, small proofs of care. I can do facts, I say. Good, Naomi says, closing the folder. Because the press wants an interview, and we're going to control the narrative this time. That afternoon, Channel 9 sets up 2 softbox lights and a boom mic in my studio. The reporter, Jada, the same one who called me the day everything imploded, gives me a small, sincere smile. Crazy week, she says. You could say that. When the red light goes on, I breathe in the scent of jasmine and citrus and say, this isn't just about candles. It's about how quickly we destroy people without facts. It's about what happens when competition turns into cruelty. Jada nods. What do you want people to take away from this? That truth burns slower, I say. But it burns longer. It's corny. It's real. It lands. When they leave, the studio feels like it's exhaling. The next few days are a blur of statements, interviews, and long, silent nights spent double-checking labels and seals, even though I know every batch is clean. Every ping from my phone still makes my stomach jump. But not every message is hate now. One is from Baybrook Market. We reviewed the footage. You were framed. We'd like to host a maker's night in your honor, candlelight and truth. You in? Another is from a stranger. I stopped making soap because a competitor lied about me. Watching you fight back made me want to start again. I sit at my table, reading it over and over. Maybe this is what healing feels like, not fireworks, just a slow easing of the grip around your heart. 3 days later, Naomi calls. Her voice is crisp. Savannah's lawyer reached out. She wants to settle. I blink. Settle? Already? She's losing followers by the minute. The lab confirmed her paraffin shipments. The market footage shows her assistant with the fakes. It's airtight. She's trying to stop the bleeding before trial. What does settle mean? It means she pays damages and signs a public apology. You decide the terms. My pulse skips. You mean I get to write the apology? Naomi chuckles softly. Within reason, yes. I glance around my studio, the jars, the labels, the ghosts of fear still clinging to the corners. I want her to tell the truth, I say. All of it, not just sorry. I want her to say she switched the candles, that she lied, that she tried to ruin me. I want people to see the cost of her game. That's firm, Naomi says. I'll draft it. She pauses. And Isla, not many people could have handled what you did with that kind of grace. Don't lose that part of yourself to anger, okay? Grace. The word hits deep. Thanks, I whisper. But maybe I'll let myself be angry a little while longer. 2 days later, Savannah's statement goes live. A plain white background, black serif font. I, Savannah Rhodes, admit to intentionally tampering with Isla Mercer's candle products and spreading false claims regarding her business. My actions were malicious, and I accept full responsibility. I apologize to Isla, to her customers, and to every small maker whose work I disrespected. It's not tearful, it's not performative, it's just true. The comments turn quickly. The internet, fickle as ever, finds a new villain to chase. For the first time in weeks, I turn off notifications. I spend the evening on my rooftop, a blanket around my shoulders, a single candle burning beside me. Gullah sunrise, my first scent. The wax pools slow. The flame dances against the twilight. Lena joins me, 2 mugs of tea in hand. So, she says, what now? I smile into the dark. Now, I rebuild. Bigger, stronger, cleaner. And maybe a vacation? Definitely a vacation. We clink mugs. Below us, Charleston hums soft, resilient, forgiving. When I close my eyes, I see the red dot of my live stream, the faces in the comments, the moment truth finally pushed through the smoke. The world tried to burn me down, but it just made me fireproof. The first quiet morning after it all ends feels foreign, too still, too ordinary. No cameras, no sirens, no buzzing phone vibrating itself off the counter. Just birds. And coffee. And peace. 6 weeks have passed since Savannah's apology went viral. Low Tide Candle Co. is alive again, not just alive, thriving. Orders pour in faster than we can pour wax. Wholesale accounts, collabs, influencers now begging to partner. It's surreal watching the same internet that tried to bury me turn into my biggest amplifier. But this time, I'm careful. Every word, every caption, every promise, all built on the bedrock of transparency. Naomi and I sit across from each other in her office downtown, paperwork spread like victory confetti. She taps her pen on the final page. You understand. This closes everything officially. She can't contact you again, can't post about you, can't profit from any version of this story. The settlement's sealed. I nod, signing my name one last time. It's over. Naomi smiles, tired but proud. You did something a lot of people couldn't. You took your pain public, and still held your dignity. I laugh softly. Dignity was hanging by a wick some days. Still burned steady though, she says, standing. You can rest now. Rest. The word sounds like a luxury I've forgotten how to afford. Back at the studio, sunlight spills through the open bay door. The place looks different now, cleaner, brighter, grounded. Lena's at the back labeling jars, humming off-key to a 90 seconds playlist. She grins when she sees me. Guess what? Baybrook Market just ordered 200 units for the Candlelight and Truth Night. 200? Yep, half pre-sold. You're kind of a legend now. I groan, pretending to be exasperated. Don't call me that. But a part of me, the part that almost gave up, warms quietly. We work in sync for hours. The rhythm of normal life finding its way back in. Pour, cool, trim, label, repeat. I realize I missed this music, the soft clink of glass, the swirl of scent, the stillness between motions. At 5, I step outside for air. The street hums with life, tourists, laughter, the faraway crash of waves, and somewhere above all that, the faint, sweet smell of candles drying. That evening, Baybrook Market glows like a lantern. Every booth is lit with candles, my candles flickering in glass, reflecting off copper fixtures. The banner over the entrance reads, "Candlelight and Truth, a night for makers." People come up to me all night. Strangers, fellow artisans, even the manager who once hesitated to keep my shelf. They tell me what the story meant to them, how it made them braver to protect their own work. One woman presses a tiny candle into my hand poured lavender, label crooked. "It's my first one," she says shyly. "I almost quit last year after a bad review. But then I watched your video." I blink back tears. "Keep pouring," I tell her. "It gets better." The night hums with small talk, laughter, and the faint pop of flashbulbs. But somewhere between the noise and the light, I feel something deeper: forgiveness. Not for Savannah, not yet. Maybe not ever. But for myself, for believing I could protect something fragile and almost losing faith when the world cracked it open. After the crowd thins, I stay behind to help clean up. The market is quiet again, wax cooling on tables, the smell of burnt wicks floating soft through the air. I walk to my shelf 3, back corner. The same one where I found the fake candle months ago. Now it's lined with perfect rows, every label straight, every scent true. Salt plus citron, Church Street magnolia, Stormwatch. I trace my fingers along the glass. This is what truth looks like when it sets. Lena finds me there, broom in hand. "You okay?" "Yeah," I say, just remembering. She leans against the shelf. "Wild. How it all started right here." "Yeah," I smile faintly. "Wild how it ended too." She glances at me. "You think it really ended?" I look out the window, where the tide glows silver under the moon. "Maybe not, but I think I'm ready for whatever comes next." That night, back home, I light one last candle, Stormwatch. It burns steady, blue at the core, gold around the edges. The flame dances like it remembers everything: the betrayal, the fear, the fire, the truth. I watch the smoke curl upward and whisper, "Let them talk, I'll just keep burning brighter." Epilogue 6 months later. The storefront sign reads, "Low Tide Candle Co., home of honest light." A small crowd gathers for the ribbon cutting. Naomi's there, sunglasses on even indoors. Lena's live streaming, grinning ear to ear. When I step up to the mic, my hands don't shake. "6 months ago," I say, "I thought my story ended in ruin." But sometimes, the fire meant to destroy you is the same one that forges you. So, to every maker, dreamer, and small business owner, when someone tries to dim your light, make sure they remember who taught them how to burn. The crowd cheers. Lena cuts the ribbon. And just like that, Low Tide Candle Co. is officially reborn. Inside, the shelves shimmer with color coral wax, sea glass jars, new scents named after survival, resilience, proof. Glow. I take one from the display, a soft lilac scent called Comeback Tide, and light it at the counter. The flame catches easily, eager, alive, and this time, I don't look over my shoulder. I just breathe in the light.